with experience at both K through 12 and post-secondary levels. He began his tenure as superintendent of Knox County Schools in July 2008. In his first year as superintendent, Dr. McIntyre led the school system and the community through a process that produced a focused vision for the future of Knox County Schools and a successful 5-year strategic plan. In 2014, Dr. McIntyre facilitated another community-wide conversation that has led to our current strategic plan designed to achieve excellence for every child. Dr. McIntyre was recently hired by the University of Tennessee to head the Center for Educational Leadership. The center is an office of the College of Education, Health and Human Sciences, and provides leadership development for the next generation of school leaders, bridging the gap between theory and practice. Please join me in welcoming School Superintendent, Dr. Jim McIntyre.
Well, very good, thank you. I'm glad to be here with you today, and especially want to thank Noah and Christina for the introduction and for being here to help facilitate today's proceedings. I want to thank Mr. Covington for the opportunity to be here with you, and I want to recognize our principal at Carter High School as well, Ryan Seavey. Steve, thanks for being here. We also have, one elected official here, George Wallace from our City Council. Thank you for being here as well, Mr. Wallace. So what I want to do is just spend a couple of minutes talking about the Knox County Schools, where we've been, and where we hope we'll go in the future. And then most of the time, I'd like to spend just in dialogue and answering questions that you might have, and working to really just have a conversation this afternoon about our interests, our priorities, our aspirations for our children around public education. And I also want to recognize the dream team and the great work that our young people did, and just a great message indeed, unity in our community. And I think we've got some wonderful people who are coming together and working in that direction. And Covington, I also have spent a lot of my time here in Knoxville taking my marching orders from Miss Margaret Gator as well. So I understand where you're coming from, and it's always been a very wise direction that she has moved us towards. So appreciate that as well. So let me just spend a minute talking about a couple things. One, the direction that we have moved in the Knox County Schools has been guided by this blueprint that you have before you. It's our strategic plan. It's entitled Excellence for Every Child. It's actually the second 5-year strategic plan that we've had in place since I've been here in the last 8 years. And part of what I think has made us a successful school district is that our community has come together to talk about where we want to be for our children, what direction we want to move in, what kind of expectations we want to have, and what kind of results we want to see. And that has led to a strategic plan. And then we've followed it. It has been our blueprint. It has been our roadmap. It has been how we allocate resources in our school system. And that has really led to, I think, some really important progress that we've made academically and some truly outstanding success for our children. So let me just say a word or two about this and what it looks like and why it's important, and then talk a little bit about where we go from here, and then we'll open up the questions. But very quickly, if you look on the second page of this document that I've handed out to you, you'll see some of the thoughts and ideas about our direction for the future. So, first of all, the title of the strategic plan is Excellence for Every Child. And we're very purposeful and careful about choosing those words. Excellence, obviously, is a very high bar, a very high standard, very high expectations that we have for all of our kids and for all of the adults in our school system and in our community. And we're very clear about that this success needs to be for every child. And that we need to make sure that some of the academic success that we've seen, some of the truly remarkable academic progress that we've made needs to include every single child in the Knox County Schools, because that means it will include all of us in our community in that success. And it will speak to and lead to greater success and vitality of our community in the future. So if you look at the goals that are here, that are articulated in our strategic plan, the first is focus on every student. And that's really what I was just speaking about. That we have high expectations for every child, high standards in place, and that we really try to meet kids where they're at and help them to meet their full potential And so there's a couple of different implications for that. One is that we really do try to personalize learning as much as we possibly can. Make sure that we recognize that every student comes to us with different strengths, with different learning styles, and we want to try to, even if we have a class of 25 or 30 kids, we have to differentiate within that classroom. We want to accelerate learning for students and challenge students who are doing well. We want to intervene for students who are struggling. We want to make sure that every single student in our school system is able to fulfill their full potential. So I think that's important. We also, part of how that plays out is in a variety of ways. One is we think that technology can be an important tool and a support in helping to personalize learning. We have 15 schools where we have basically one-to-one technology. One device for every student, one device for every adult, every teacher in the building. And we think that can be a really important tool to help facilitate teaching, to help facilitate learning, and to lead to greater student success. The other is a concept that's been really important to our school board and really important to our school system, which is the idea of what we call multiple pathways to success. What does that mean? It means that we believe and know that every student must be successful in Knox County Schools. But we also recognize that that success might not be found by every student in the traditional comprehensive high school or the traditional pathway. So we've created multiple options, multiple choices for our students to be able to find success. And that might include a couple of notable examples. We've created the L&N STEM Academy, a magnet high school that's focused on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The International Baccalaureate program at West High School, the School of Communications at Fulton, the STEM and STEAM programs at Vine and at Green Magnet School, and more recently the Career Magnet Academy that opened over here on Strawberry Plains campus of Tulsa State Community College. So lots of different pathways, lots of different options for students to find where they can be successful. Probably the most, I guess, extreme example of that concept is the school at the mall. You know, we have a school in a storefront at the Knoxville Center Mall, the Paul Kelly Academy. And obviously it's a non-traditional school, but there's some smaller class sizes, there's some computer-based learning with adult support. There's a lot of flexibility about the hours and about the pace, and so it's just a way for students to be able to find their success. And we've now graduated over 600 students with a Knox County Schools diploma from the Paul Kelly Academy, almost every single one of whom probably would have dropped out of high school had it not been for that opportunity and that support that they received at the Paul Kelly Academy. So focus on our students, personalizing learning for our students is an important part of what we do. And I said it was a priority of our school board. One of our school board members is here with us also, Gloria Dethridge. Thank you, Ms. Dethridge, for being with us and for your leadership in public education in our community. Second is invest in our people. And that's our second, the second goal that we list here. And that is incredibly important. We have about 8,000 employees that work in the Knox County Schools, about 4,000 of whom are teachers. And we want to make sure that everyone in our school system has the training, the support, the resources that they need to do the important work they do with our kids. That our teachers have the professional development. And yes, the compensation that would really recognize the great work that they do. So we've been working very hard to make sure that we provide an even more competitive and professional level of compensation for our teachers and our other staff. And in this budget cycle that we just are in the midst of right now, and that the board has approved, we have a 2.5% raise for our classified employees, which are our educational assistants and cafeteria workers and school security officers and positions like that, and a 3% raise for our educators. So we're excited about making some progress there. And then the third goal in our strategic plan is partner with our stakeholders. And that really is just a recognition that we're really good at some things. We're good at teaching kids in the classroom, but we can't do that work alone. We need the support of our families. We need the support of our businesses. We need the support of higher education. And we need the support of each and every one of you, folks in our community, who make education a priority and make sure that we're providing our students, our young people, with the greatest possible opportunities to prepare them for a bright and successful future. And those are it. I mean, those are the main goals. There's a lot. This is a couple-page document. There's about I don't know, Ms. Dethridge, about 111-page document, I think, online. That is all the background behind this strategic plan. It was about a year in the making with lots of community meetings like this, where we talk to people and ask what was important to them. And I think that's part of what's been successful, is that this isn't my strategic plan, it's not our school board's strategic plan, it's truly our community's strategic plan for public education in our community. I will note that we've seen some extraordinary success in the Knox County schools over the last several years. We've seen increases in our, what used to be called our TCAP scores. They're now called our TN Ready scores, but that's kind of become a dirty word since we're not doing those in grades 3 through 8 this year. But what we've seen increases in proficiency for students. We've seen increases in academic growth for students, where our TVA score, our Tennessee Value Added Assessment System, is level 5, which is the highest level attainable for a school system in the state of Tennessee. We've seen increases in our ACT score from last year to 2015. And one of the things I'm probably most proud of is, in part because of that philosophy of multiple pathways to success, our high school graduation rate has gone from 79.3% for the class of 2008 to 90.0% for the class of 2015. Let me make that even more real for you. If we still had the same graduation rate that we had in 2008 and 2015, we would have graduated 443 fewer students. That's 443 lives that have been indelibly changed for the better. It's 443 lives that, instead of a life of struggle and challenge and giants to make them speak, will have an opportunity to be successful. And think about the impact that those kinds of numbers can have on our community as a whole. And so I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the work that our teachers have done and our school leaders and all of you to make that particular progress happen. And finally, another thing I'm very proud of is that last August, the Tennessee Department of Education named the Knox County Schools an exemplary school district, which is a very specific you have to meet a very specific set of criteria, which includes not only academic progress, but closing achievement gaps that are defined by income, race, disability, language. And that means all of our kids are progressing, but our kids who may be struggling the most are progressing even faster. And that's really important and something I'm very proud of as well. And there's only 12 exemplary school districts in the state of Tennessee out of 144 districts. And the Knox County Schools is the only large metropolitan district who's ever achieved that distinction. So we're very proud of that as well. So the work that we're trying to do in the classroom, the work that our teachers are doing in the classroom really is making a difference in the lives of our young people. So where do we go from here? Well, it was mentioned that I will be stepping aside in July and moving on to a new endeavor at the University of Tennessee. I've been wearing orange for like 7 or 8 straight days now. But that's okay, nicely. You can get away with that for like months on end and hear enough, so I probably will. But I'm excited about that new endeavor. But also, you know, I really do want us to all think about, where do we go from here? What do we make sure happens in the future? And, you know, as a citizen in my post-superintendent days, I hope that you'll join me in really ensuring and demanding that the level of expectation that we put in place for students and for adults in the Knox County Schools continues, that we continue on our path of high academic standards and expectations, that we continue to build on the strong foundation of success that we've put in place in our community in public education, that we'll continue to focus on high quality instruction in every classroom, every day, incredibly important, and that we continue to do the work for our children that reflect the lofty aspirations of our young people and our community. These young people deserve every bit of that. And continue to work on our path toward excellence for every child. So I'm going to take a stop there, and let's have some questions. We'll have a nice dialogue and for the rest of our time together.